For many decades, Pentridge was known for all the wrong reasons, housing some of the country's most terrifying criminals. This was a place you most definitely wanted to avoid. Fast forward to today, and it is attracting a clientele of a very different type.
Pentridge is the largest prison complex ever built in the state of Victoria and sits just a few k's north of Melbourne CBD in the suburb of Coburg. This heritage-listed prison has been transformed into a dining and entertainment precinct. As well as shops and restaurants, there's 2 accommodation options: the Adina, a modern multi-storey hotel, and the Interlude, built into the old prison buildings of what was formerly known as B Division. The Interlude has 19 converted suites that are warm, inviting and ultra-luxurious, a complete contrast to its original purpose. Now, this is somewhere that I would be happy to serve a sentence. From 5 prison cells to 1 luxury suite, it is quite the transformation. And it was no easy feat. Without any blueprints, engineers had to work with what was in front of them. Little things like the aircon is under the bed. Normally you would put it in the roof, but the roof is full of rubble to stop prisoners escaping. Many parts of the prison are preserved in the original state, and the National Trust runs tours so visitors can explore the inner workings of this historic site.
So Livinia, here we are outside H Division, or Hell Division as it was known back in the day. It was a maximum security division, kind of a punishment division within Pentridge, where the harshest and most difficult criminals were housed. It was created in 1958 after an infamous escape, and it operated until 1994.
This has a very creepy vibe to it.
It does, yeah. So there are 39 cells in H Division, and they're on 2 tiers. You call them tiers in a prison. And this is where the hardest prisoners were housed.
It wasn't just the living conditions of H Division that were hellish, but the daily routine.
So here we are in one of the labour yards, which were the rock-breaking yards. Prisoners would spend 8 hours a day out here breaking bluestones. They would use those hammers to break them into fist-sized pieces by lunchtime, and then they spent their afternoon making thumbnail-sized pieces out of them.
And what did they use the smaller rock for?
Nothing. It was just
Nothing.
Pointless labour, just really to show them that they were here to be punished and spend their day doing this hard labour that was for nothing.
This is a very small kitchen.
It is. It's called a scullery in prison lingo.
What kind of food were they eating?
Not very appetising, so they would have spent 8 hours a day breaking rocks out in the yards, and then they'd have just a really cheap stew generally. For breakfast, usually porridge. So whatever was cheapest and easiest, yeah.
These days, the prison's mess hall has been converted into a very swish destination restaurant. North&COMMON is accessed from both the Adina and the Interlude. What was your initial thought when you were asked to open a restaurant in a prison?
It was a little bit of a surprise, I'll be honest. I think the build is absolutely amazing, though. You know, to convert something that's got so much history into something as beautiful as it is pretty impressive. We're sort of very much focused on local producers and farms. We've got a couple of farms within sort of 10 to 20 minutes away, and we let them guide what we do on the menu. So very focused on seasonality and making sure that we're using what's coming out of those really amazing suppliers.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
There's also an on-site wine bar. And strictly for Interlude guests, there's a subterranean pool by appointment only, making this a stay to remember. I imagine prisoners in Pentridge would have spent many hours plotting their escape. However, I am hatching a plan to linger a little longer.